Making Waves, the podcast to help enhance our personal development.
Welcome to the Making Waves podcast by Waves of Positivity. Today you're joined by myself, the host Aadil, and Mr. SA.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. What's going on, guys?
And our esteemed guest today is none other than our Mr. Sully Parali.
Let's go.
The P in Waves of Positivity.
That's it. The last of the season 1, I guess, right? Let's go.
Alright, Sully, how you doing? Introduce yourself to the guests.
Right.
Who are
So
you?
my name is Suleiman. Everyone calls me Sully or S-Man or Sully SP, whatever.
Wait, hold on. Who's called you S-Man?
S-Man.
I've never heard
S-Man on my
S-Man.
S-Man on my like, guys from like growing up like Eves.
One of those guys you've never
Eves,
met.
Eves, yeah. Eves, you know Eves, man. Anywho, 22 years old. I own a web design business. Man of charity. Love traveling. And I also love to help the community with you amazing brothers in this CIC, Waves of Positivity official.
That sounds absolutely amazing to me. So, for the people here today, what made you approach me on Instagram regarding positivity?
Right, you guys ready for a quick story?
Go on, bro. Story
Small
time.
one?
That's
Cool.
what we're here for.
This is
One
it.
second, I need my blanket.
Cool. 2018, on Instagram, usual day, going through memes, going through, so many different things on Instagram. And you stood out. And to this day, you still put these stories up where you're speaking to the camera and you're telling your audiences about positivity and things around positivity. And that really inspired me because around that time, I just came out of a really dark and sort of troublesome phase in my life. And I was seeking positivity and I wanted to preach it as well, overcoming hurdles in your life. So I messaged you and I was like, hey, look, I love what you're doing.
He slid in my DMs.
Yeah, I slid in his DMs, even though it took 2 days to reply to me because he's too famous. And I thought, you know what, let's do something. Let's do a podcast, as we are right now. Let's do something. Let's preach to people. And he messaged back again after 2 days. And he said that the other Sully messaged me. And I said, which other Sully? That message. He goes, and he added you, SA Healthy Games. I was like, that's my guy. We studied HIFs together in Jamia back in 2013. We've been involved in a few things here and there afterwards as well. And I was like, yeah, that's amazing. Let me know when you're ready. And alhamdulillah, from there we took it forward, I guess. And
I'm glad you slid in my DMs because what we're doing now, we're making waves, we're changing lives.
No, I'm glad you replied.
Alright, so obviously you slid in his DMs and he claims that I slid in his DMs too. But obviously we started a movement, a wave.
Mm-hmm.
Why did you want to stick to it?
There's one core purpose and one core why behind all of this that embodies Waves of Positivity, and that's making people happy. You guys definitely relate to this, and I'm hoping the listeners do as well. But when I see someone happy, it makes me so happy. And the better than that, if I make someone feel joyful about their life, that makes me content. Like I feel that's success right there. And if I see someone that's struggling and they can do some help, and I add an ounce of positivity or overcoming a hurdle that they're going through, that's life for me. That's worth living. And that's what Waves of Positivity is all about for me. Another answer to that is when we first started, I said to you guys, let's do a podcast. When we were sitting there in the cafe and you guys are like, yeah, we're going to be in camera and speaking. I said to you guys, what do you mean we're going to be speaking on the camera? You two are both used to that because you've done like gym videos and stuff before and have you say he done the stories talking to his audiences. But I was a bit shy and you guys made waves for me. You built confidence into me saying to me, no, it's going to be all right. You'll be used to the camera, let's get into it. So alhamdulillah, making waves has been a experience for myself. It's been an experience for me, not just the people that have been involved in all of our events and whatnot in the past. So what I can say is that we're making waves and it's the job of the community to surf them waves as well.
100%.
Can I just add, every time I think back about it, obviously our podcast is called #Making Waves. That the purpose is to make waves of positivity among our listeners and the community, wider community. But when you think about it, when we talk about how we started, we made waves within ourselves.
Yeah, so another reason why I started Waves of Positivity and why I felt like it'd be good long term, for the greater good obviously, is that the only certainty that we have in life, no matter which background we come from, no matter what religion we follow, no matter how rich or poor we are, is the certainty of death. One day we're going to leave this world. We're only here for a certain amount of time. And when we leave this world, some people will forget about you after 2 weeks. Some people forget about you after 2 days. Some people will remember you after 20 years. It all depends on the message that you left, the legacy that you left behind.
100%.
And for me, let's just put this into retrospect. Do we speak about someone that died 100 years ago, what horse they were riding?
No.
We don't really talk about the possessions that they had. We only talk about the message that they left behind. So that's how I think of it for myself.
Days, that's a banger.
That's how I think of it for myself. No one is going to talk about my drip, my car, how much wealth I had, where I lived. No one. No one's going to say, oh, Sully travelled here, he travelled there. Because by the time they talk about that, there'll be something new in life anyway.
Yeah.
And so many other people would pass away in that time. So for me, the only thing genuinely that Waves of Positivity will take on my legacy is the character and the mannerism that we had here, the message that we spread, the goodness that we dropped in communities. That is the certainty that we have.
So being an entrepreneur, is this something you want to have on the side, or is this something you want to do full time? Where does Waves of Positivity sit in your life as a priority?
For me right now, Waves of Positivity is part of my life. Whether it's less hours than I do my other stuff, no matter what, it's something that is embodied into my life. It's there. Inshallah, I'm not going to get rid of that at all. And I'm hoping we can make more waves in the future. Just to answer the question though, as you guys know and people that know me, is my mindset is very conservative. Not the conservative as in Tories or politics. I'm not a Tory. But it's conservative in the way I think about money, that the value of money and wealth. Money is not the be or end all, but it pays for your bills. It pays for many problems that we have in our lives. It is a solution to many problems. That's my personal opinion. Many people would argue against that, but for me, money is very valuable. We talk about mental health. For me, it's all about mental wealth, as Jack Butcher says in Visualize Value. So for me, it's like if you are financially literate, then you have a life of freedom. But of course, religion and everything else plays a role. But when you become, inshallah, if God has granted me the rizq and the earnings of becoming rich one day, which is my plan, with good intentions, of course.
Not rich,
wealthy. If I become wealthy, it doesn't end there. Like you're going to look back and take, okay, I've made this money, I've done this, I've done that, I've bought this, I've purchased that. What am I actually doing for the world? Ikigai. And that's where Waves of Positivity fits in. It's like, okay, I'm still doing something that's benefiting the community. I'm still doing these fun things. And that's how I think of it.
He's giving a convincing pitch. Shall we extend this contract at what?
He's currently on a loan deal. But your point, it reminded me, I was reading a book called Don't Be Sad. And in the book, he talks about why do we chase wealth when Allah has promised us, God has promised us, it's never going to come with us into our grave.
Exactly.
But where your wealth will stay is where it's being used by other people in the world.
Exactly.
And your point about why you want to become wealthy shows me that you have the right intentions and the correct mindset.
Definitely.
In wanting to have that. So inshallah, you will be blessed with wealth, so you can make lots of waves around the world.
Definitely. Because the perception of people is that when you're wealthy, you just sit on a cruising boat that goes around the world.
No.
Like you still need to have a purpose in life. And I think Waves of Positivity, I know that Waves of Positivity serves a massive chunk in my life, because without it, realistically, you'd just be chasing business, earning, going to the gym, having fun, but there's be no burpose of bringing people together and benefiting people's lives. So that's what
I want to ask you a question, because in a way you're very different to kind of how we were, because we were kind of already out there a bit in terms of making content and preaching a certain message. But for you, Waves of Positivity was sort of the start of that journey for you. So since then, what has been...
But let's say though, since that, you've now been making travel videos, haven't you?
I have been, yeah.
You have. Oh, man, you made waves into this guy, bro.
So since your journey into this world, into this realm, what has been your feedback, and how has it helped you, in terms of your connections, you personally? Has it made you a better person? What effect has it had on you?
Okay, so you've asked about maybe 2-3 questions in there, so I'll divide them. First question is the feedback. Alhamdulillah, whenever I go to for prayers or on motive, or we go shisha, or we go to the gym or football, and you bump into people, that's socializing time. People will always be like, I love what you guys are doing. I always get that feedback. Not to me, it's all of us collectively, the credit. I love the video that you guys, they'll always reference something. I love the video you guys done. I love the podcast that you done here. I love that live where you spoke about this. So for me, it tells me that we are doing good. If you're getting good feedback by people, in reality, that means that the work you're putting on social media is having an impact on someone's life. So that's the feedback I've had. I do have a couple sarcastic comments sometimes.
Yeah, we get that.
I was in the queue the other day and some guy was like to me, oh, I love the inspirational posts you do on Instagram. But for me, it's you don't take it too much to heart. It's you know what? If you have something good to say, it's better than saying something bad. So I'll take it. Although it's sarcastic, but you never know the intentions behind the person. Maybe that's just the way they portray a message. But for me, it's if you can see I'm being inspirational, then it's working. That's how I see it. In terms of connection, wow, man, it's been inescapable. We have the outcome of our connections that we've made in the last 2.5 years have been crazy. I'm going to give a few examples, summing up back to square one. Now, Yasin, for example, being a client of mine, then became a partner. He saw the work I was doing with you guys, and he said, "Why don't you go on Ramadan FM?" So we took the opportunity, and we had the connection of going on the radio nationally. And then one of the sheikh's son that owns Radio Sira, he approached me after prayers one weekend, and he said to me, "Why don't you come on our radio and do one for the community?" So we took that on board. And then obviously now to you guys. So SA has had great connections with Islamic Relief. We've done charity work with them, events and things like that. Adil, your family member, Ibrahim, Gloucester, he put us in touch with another CIC company, which then led into the go-karting event. So when you think about everything that we've done, it's not just us like doing videos and putting it out there, it's the connections that we've had. So alhamdulillah, it's been astonishing, and I'm looking forward to what 2021 has for us as well.
By the way, if you're watching this video or listening to the podcast, please do get in touch with us if you have any opportunities.
And
sponsor me, Del.
and even separately, I just thought of this right now, is how I approached Khadija Khalifa on LinkedIn, and how I just asked her in Ramadan, would you like to do a radio show with us? And for those that don't know, Khadija Khalifa is an ex-candidate of the BBC's Apprentice.
Just plugging in casually.
And she brought waves as well. She taught us a lot. I remember the chameleon thing she told us, that you have to be a chameleon whenever you adapt to different societies. You have to change your colour to that, and that still strikes me to this day.
So be a chameleon.
So I want to ask obviously yourself, and if you don't mind, I'll ask Aadil as well. I want to ask, just to maybe end off this introductory series of ourselves, I want to ask you, what has been your favourite or your most memorable moment in the last 2 years with Waves of Positivity with us?
You go first.
Me, I go first. Yeah.
Pressure's on.
I think 2019 was our golden year because there was no pandemic. 2020 was a good year because of content, and we had a lot of fun. But 2019 was it was reality. It was a reality check. 2 events. We partnered up with Johan.
You can't pick a whole year. I pick one moment. It's a hard question. I'll give you that.
Okay. If it's a year between 2019, but if it was a moment, it'd be go-karting. Go-karting was amazing. That was fun. Like for me, it was a hobby. Like that day, we were the event coordinators or the people that ran the event of 65 people that attended. But the fun I had, amazing. Bringing people together, seeing that people from Leicester and Redditch are talking to each other, someone from 2 different colours and religions are talking to each other. We created that, and that gave me so much, love, man. What we're doing, it's not only a chore. Do you know when you have a job or a business, sometimes it gets stressful. This does get stressful sometimes, but it's such a hobby that the goodness overpowers the bad. And that was my favourite moment.
Wow, man.
What about you guys?
I was going to ask you. For me, my favourite moment, it's between 2. So my first favourite moment would probably be when we first went onto radio, Ramadan. For me, that was a dream come true. I was 8 years old, listening in my bed to Mark Khalil talking about different bayans and stuff. And for me, it used to hit. His voice was Ramadan for me. So for me to be on and become someone else's voice of Ramadan, it was a special moment. Or it's when we had our first event at Uni of Leicester.
That was amazing.
When we were doing a workshop. For me, that showed me I'm a performer. I like to go in front of people and kind of flaunt my my charisma.
You were funny, man. You were really funny, alhamdulillah. I think everyone found you funny.
Those 2, I can't really pick between those 2.
Fair enough. It's hard to pick. I mean, you guys picked some of the best moments. And for me, I think I'd have to say it's actually in lockdown. Well, first lockdown. In that period where we had to record everything remotely and create our content remotely, that was a very special time. But then we were we still need to do something for the community. We need to do something in real world, and we did the.
I know what he's gonna talk about. We got it.
We did the trek for Yemen.
Yes.
How magical was that? Imagine,
How much did we raise?
Let me get to that. So we're because a big part of our work is to do something for charity, locally or global, and I just needed to do something, and I remember I was like to you guys, yo, we love doing treks. We're not being able to do a trek. The only way we can do a trek is if it's charity, because back then the lockdown rules was you can't go outside unless it's a charity. So we're this is our chance. Let's do a trek and get up to 30 people. And we had so many people, we had to have 2 treks over 2 days. And 60 people, unique people, that came over 2 treks, and we raised £32,000 for the people of Yemen.
Boom!
How can that's
I wish we were BBC Radio. We had all those different soundboards.
Charlie Sloth. Hashtag Charlie Sloth. Let's get him. Find the booth. Waves in the booth, or more
we need to get a soundboard sorted. But for me, that was such an incredible, because it was so stressful at the time. Like I was just came out of uni. I was working, and a lot of stuff was going on in my personal life. And every single spare minute, I'd just be tapping away on my laptop, doing some admin work, doing the fundraising.
Man. You actually
you took good lead of that.
Yeah, it was probably the best part of one of the best moments of 2019. One of the best moments of Waves of Positivity for me.
Definitely. Finish this off then. I'm going to answer the final question, which was part of that last question: is has Waves of Positivity changed me? Most definitely. It's made me smile more. It's made me think and be more positive. It's made me feel grateful for all the little things in life. Alhamdulillah, little things. Literally, like sometimes I wake up. There's a thing that I do. I count like 4 to 5 blessings every morning. If not every morning, it'll be in the week, and I'll just say, thank God for vision that I can see today. Thank God that I can go down, open my fridge, and there's food in there. Little things. But I think the biggest thing that Waves of Positivity has changed me in is being answerable, because we are preaching positivity, and we are now the musketeers, if you want to call it like that.
I like that.
So we have to practice what we preach.
Yeah.
If we are practicing be carefree, be confident, and we're out there and we're not confident and we're not carefree, we are contradicting what we are preaching. And for me, that's hypocritical. We cannot be hypocrites. So for me, it's a lot of accountability and being answerable. Like, yo, I can't get caught slipping here.
This happens to me a lot. Yeah, sometimes if I say something, then people are like, I thought your ways of positivity. You can't say things. Like, my little brother says it a lot. If I tell him you're not gonna beat this level in the game, like, I thought you're Mr. Positivity. I'm like, stay out of this, man.
But alhamdulillah, that's my input. That's
You know what? That's not your final question now.
Okay, cool.
I've got a final question
No
for
problem.
you. And my question is,
Yes.
as a person you are, you have certain morals and a code of conduct. Something that carries you throughout your life. And if you were ever to have a conversation with a lost soul and you were to speak to them and give them one piece of advice, what's that piece of advice?
Lost soul, yeah?
Someone who's lost in life, misguided, you can say, and you to give them a piece of advice that you feel helps you and you carry throughout your life, how would you carry it out and mention it to them?
Okay, this is
Not
my one.
inspiration,
This is
a
my
way of
one.
life.
My one is your time to shine. A lot of people that are lost, or if I come across someone that's lost, it's because they are telling themselves they are lost, but realistically they're not lost. They are just seeing everyone shining apart from themselves. And I've said this before in another video, but the sun and moon shine at different times. So he could be the moon at that time, whereas everyone else around him is the sun. Everyone has their time to succeed in life.
That's beautiful.
That's why whenever I'm going through a difficulty, but I see you guys succeeding, or I see like another friend of mine doing so good in business, I'm happy for them because that's their time and I'll get my time. So you replace jealousy with inspiration. That's it.
Absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much, Mr. Sully SP for coming through to our #Making Waves podcast. You can catch us on Spotify, YouTube, and go follow our Instagram. I don't know what you're doing if you're not. We are coming to make some waves. Thank you very much and have an amazing day. And remember, make waves with positivity.
That's it. Surf them waves. Let's go.